All right, so we are 6 weeks into this mandated shutdown. What originally was proposed as a 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Different states are starting to open up and let people be free. You hear a lot about the numbers on TV. Every day they talk about the numbers. Well, the good news is different medical professionals have gone into different cities and started testing the blood of volunteers, and they're finding that thousands of people have already had this virus and built up antibodies to it. What does this mean? This means that a lot of people who fear getting this virus have already had it, didn't even know it, and have immunity to it. So that is really exciting. Another thing that I've found as I've begun to research, different doctors have talked about the rubber stamping or the coding of everything being coded as COVID in the hospitals for federal dollars, which means if somebody comes in, gets in a car accident, and passes away, if they just happen to have the virus, they may be coded COVID. Another thing that I find encouraging is these ships that were sent out to like New York City, hospital ships, have turned around and gone back to where they came from. The hospitals are not overflowing. Nurses are talking about, like in San Francisco, a densely populated area, that there's not anything like you would think it would be on TV. They're not overflowing. In fact, certain hospitals are actually laying people off, and that's because, yeah, they're not overflowing. So, yeah, I find that really encouraging. And this week I was thinking about courage. Courage. Courage is, you may have fear, you may feel the fear, but you move forward. You're willing to move forward. And I started thinking about in American history, I think about when the Union of the United States was formed. How the men who were willing to fight had the courage to shake off the tyranny of Great Britain. Had the courage to say, no, we don't want standing armies in our houses. We don't want that. We want to be free. We want to be free and independent states and form a union of our own free and independent states. They had courage. Do you think they had fear? Yes, I'm sure a lot of them had fear. I thought about the war between the states in the 1800s. Do you think those men had fear? Yes, they had fear, but they had courage to move forward. They felt the fear and did it anyway. I thought about World War II, when thousands of our men willingly signed up to go overseas and fight tyranny. They had courage at D-Day. They had courage. They felt the fear and they did it anyway. Martin Luther King had courage, though people threatened his life. In fact, I believe that he felt in his gut that something was going to happen before he was assassinated, because you can tell that in one of his last speeches about not getting to the place of freedom that he wanted to be. He said, I may not get there with you, but he started talking about history. Courage. We need courage. You know, I was reading in the Bible about Moses when he sent Joshua, Caleb, and 8 other spies to spy out the land of Canaan, because they were getting ready to take it. And there were 8 that didn't have courage. And they put fear in the people that they went back to report to. And God was not happy that they didn't have courage. And coincidentally, they were struck down with a plague, and they ended up dying. I found that ironic. So courage. One more thing on courage. When I was a kid, growing up, there was a saying. It was, "Are you afraid of the boogeyman?" Are you afraid of the boogeyman? And people would say, "I'm not afraid of the boogeyman." When you look at the actual fatality rate of this virus, we're going to find that millions have already had this virus. And the actual fatality rate is going to be way lower than what was projected that they said it was going to be. So have courage. Have courage to move forward. Have courage to go on with your life. Don't be afraid of the boogeyman. People are making it bigger than it really is. God is bigger than the boogeyman. And so should our faith and our courage be in alignment with Him as we go forward and try to get back to living in the United States as free people again.